Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to the Warm Truth All. It's your girl, Melly Mel.
And Kim.
And we will be wrapping up our friendship series.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the guests we had. We enjoy them. It was wonderful yapping with our girls and talking about friendship in our current age bracket, transitioning, being afar, friendship breakups, as well as long distance friends who we've been friends with forever, and our boundaries. So, we'll do a wrap up, talk about some of the things we learned, some of the things we took away from it, and all of that.
Yeah, so let's jump right in.
Yes, yes. So, what have this series taught you about yourself and friendships?
Ooh, about myself and friendship.
Yes.
Like, not to be that person, but I feel like I already learned my tough lessons, like, before the series. I'm not going to hold you. Um, yeah. What about you?
I think for me, I kind of, as we were talking about it and going through and editing, I
Mm.
was like, am I too laid back of a friend?
Ooh,
So
interesting.
it did have me question, like, maybe I'm like, maybe I don't give as much as, we talked about with Victoria in that
Mm.
episode. I was like, huh. So it did have me, reaching out to my friends and saying, hey, what is it? How am I
Mm.
as a friend? Recalibrating. But then after speaking with them, it helped me not learn, but actually be more fine or okay with the fact that I am laid back. It is who I am. And honestly, the friends that you make is
Mm.
people that will connect with you where you are.
Yeah.
And that's what we talk about too, and different stages in our lives. So I'm this way and I'm not everyone's cup of tea, which is
Mm.
perfectly fine. So being laid back is not too bad, but I do think there should still be some self um, checklist that you should do
Mm.
as you age and go through friendships and be like, huh, am I there? And it's good to ask your friends, like, hey, how am I doing as a friend?
Yeah, that's true. When you say laid back, like, do you mean like you're super chill or like you like don't initiate communication or do you mean like you're not as engaged? Like, what do you mean?
All of that except not engaged.
Oh, okay.
In one of the series, you talked about having expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't quite have expectations, or we talked about high maintenance
Mm-hmm.
friends and being a high maintenance friendship and all that. So I do think I am chill. I don't think I have that many expectations when it comes to friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it did have me questioning because it's not wrong. It's not wrong to be a high maintenance friend. It's not wrong to have those expectations. But it also had me thinking, like, hey, am I there in true self of how I want to be there for my friends? Like, am I
Mm-hmm.
too chill? Am I too laid back? So that's what I was like, okay, let me ask, because the mass of the guests we had on the series
Mm-hmm.
kind of aligned with having expectations and high maintenance. And I don't want to use that because it's not negative.
No, it's
Like,
not.
it's perfectly fine being high maintenance and having those expectations. So, did I answer that question?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Okay. Um. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What did I learn? Yeah, I feel like I've had a lot of friendship woes, so I feel like I've been able to kind of like be far left, be far right, be more understanding, And sometimes I was overgiving, then I stepped back, then I wasn't overgiving, then I, had my boundaries in place. And so I think I've kind of found like an even ground. Um, like life happens, but I don't know if I moving forward will do anything differently. I think in the past, something that has rubbed people the wrong way, I think I'm still going to do it, which is just like, we need to talk. Like I think I'm still going to do that. Because we got to talk about the elephant, like
True.
let's not overlook the elephant. And so, what I will say, something that I've learned over the years, even before that this like really impacted the way that our relationship is just letting people be who they are, and also like trying not to solve people's problems.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy to be like, girl, here got an answer. But you know, when you're in it, you're just too close. And so I think that's probably like helped me just like mind my business. Because it's like you love people, like you want to help them, like you don't want them to hurt themselves. You know, you want to be like, girl, that's not a good decision. But also, it's kind of like, okay, well, you just want me to listen. That's why I asked, like, you want me to just listen or you want advice?
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing about me, I'm gonna be like, no, quit, beat
Mm-hmm.
them up,
Mm-hmm.
sucker punch them. Like that's how I'm gonna be, and I feel like people already know that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I be like, well, what you want me to do today? Because I could just listen, okay. But then I'd be like, do you want advice? And I'd be ready to get some advice. But that's probably like been like I guess the most transformational thing I've like done as a friend is just like letting people do them, you know, not minding nobody business. Also, just like not taking myself too seriously because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you mind other people's business or like when you want them to show up for you a certain way, it's like, damn, shorty, show up for yourself that way too. Like, not in a mean way,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm always like, I got all these expectations for this person. Am I even doing this for myself?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh, let me fill my own cup. And I don't even got time to worry about what nobody else doing. So I think that's why like I can be like a good friend
Mm-hmm.
now. Yeah.
That makes sense. And you talk and taking a question out of what you said. Would I go back and change anything through my friendship journeys? I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think just the way things and experiences happen is just how things align, and it did help me grow to get to know myself
Mm-hmm.
and have my boundaries and my standards and just how I am. And like I said, I see a lot of things your friends and who align with you and who rock with you, um, they would do it with regardless in what season you're in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I would change anything either, even with the friendship breakups. I was intrigued to see how many of us actually have those stories. It was really interesting to hear, but it also makes sense with us growing up and going through life. I mean, we're not the same as we were when we were 20. Um, Life is lifing when you're older, more responsibilities. So it makes sense. But yeah, I
Mm.
think that was very enlightening. And then also the piece where Kaylin was talking about um, just needing you say, hey, do I need to listen or is there advice? And Kaylin was like, hey, just let me talk. Let me get it off my chest. Don't say anything. And then I might hear your advice, but I don't want it. And I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was like, that's me to a
Yeah.
T.
Like
Like,
I
hey,
listen to it
let
for
me
a
just
second.
rant
Yeah.
real quick. I don't need nothing else.
Yeah.
Just let me get it off. And then we go from there. But yeah.
Yeah.
What didn't you expect from the conversations we had with the girls?
I did not expect so many like I guess kind of just what you said. I didn't expect so many similar stories. Like I think a lot of it is part of society, a lot of it is cultural, but I feel like at some point we've all carried something heavy when it comes to friendships or relationships, and I want us to stop doing that. Like, you know, when they say like check on your strong friend, there's always a
Mm-hmm.
strong friend. So I just want to tell the strong friends like you don't have to be the strong friend that like you deserve for people to show up the way, you know, that you show up. And if they're not, like don't be so scared to have a conversation. Also know culturally like we just ignore stuff, but you are self-abandoning when you don't talk about things that bother
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
And like we want you to also be balanced, so we don't want you to just ignore the elephant either. And that's lonely, you know, because you're like, dang, I might mess this friendship up,
Yep.
and that really may happen. But once you train your body to just continue to show up for yourself, like your nervous system will recognize it,
Mm-hmm.
and even though it hurts, like breaking up with a friend hurts so bad. It's like
Yes.
literally a heartbreak. And you're always like, maybe I should have said this. Maybe I shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have said anything at all. If you're ever thinking maybe you shouldn't have said anything at all, you should have said it, you know, and you can forgive yourself later for maybe the way you said it, maybe the example you used. but like you have to speak up for yourself. And if you don't, no one else will, because other people, they like taking that. They
Mm-hmm.
rely on you for that. They depend on you for that. And that's just not fair. Like that's just not fair for you. And it wasn't fair for me because I was pissed. I was ready to blow some shit up. So it's just like if you feel that rage, if you ever
Yeah.
feel that anger, I'm not blaming you, but like look inward and figure out why you feel that way. And, if you need to get rid of some people, clean house. I know it's
Mm-hmm.
hard, but like you'll find your tribe eventually. I promise. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. It is not easy either, though.
Right. And y'all, excuse my voice. So by the time this air, it'll probably be very nice and sunny outside. But we are currently in Texas, where yesterday is 20, today is 70, and then tomorrow will be 80, and then it'll be 30 again. So my allergies is messing with your girl. So excuse my voice. But it was so interesting seeing Marty and speaking with Marty, and Marty being 50, who looks amazing for her age, and how she talked about still going through, friendship struggles and expectations, but also at a point where she's really at, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I am who I am. Take it or leave it. Um, and that was very enlightening. It
Mm.
was very freeing because you don't have to keep changing yourself. And Marty, in her story, she really didn't care. Like, if I don't like you, I tried. It is what it is. I don't need to do much to it. But then you just roll with it. And the fact that it's a friend group,
Mm.
and just because you may have that issue with that one person doesn't take away you not being connected to another person within the group. And having those conversations and be like, hey, I don't really rock with this person. We all understand. We're in agreement. Let's move along. I love you, and we'll keep our relationship as is. And I thought, like, hey, I like that. That's nice. So yeah, it was really intriguing. And then just how Kaylin talked about her being Delulu, which she is not. Kaylin has a very open heart, and she sees the best in people,
Mm.
and how she talked about giving people second chances. So I thought that was like, oh, that's two opposites
Mm.
talking about, friends and evolving friendships or walking away from friendships. And yeah, again, some more takeaways I had, but
Yeah. When you were saying it, it made me think about have you ever told a friend that you didn't like their friend? Cause
yes,
I'm thinking
yes,
about
I have. I have indeed.
okay.
I have indeed.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, I don't like this person. Where you met them at?
Yeah.
Why you like them? But yeah, people are like, oh, especially with being friends from a distance too,
Mm.
they form a different friendship in your absence. You ever see like the memes or the things on IG, and they be like, oh, when you meet your best friend's new friend,
Yeah.
and you like looking them up and down.
That's
Sometimes
hilarious.
that's a little real. You be like, who is this with my best friend?
Yeah,
Um,
that's funny.
but no, yeah, I definitely was like, oh no, I don't like her. But
Mm.
people have connections differently, so it's like I'm not. But don't worry, I'll be there. If something mess up, I'll get to 100 real quick. But yeah, what do you hope the listeners took away?
Um, I hope that the listeners just saw themselves in us, no matter what like stage in life we were in. And also at the end of the day, I don't want to say we're just girls, but like we're all women, and I think we go through the same things like no matter how old we are. I know
Mm-hmm.
like social media is like running our lives right now, and auntie this, auntie that, young ho this, young ho that. But I think we should just kind of like let that age thing go and
Mm-hmm.
lean into like the older women who have so much wisdom. Granted, like yeah, we're so busy, but I think it's really valuable. Um, and I hope that you all like don't give up on yourselves. And I hope you don't ever think that like you won't find your tribe. I don't want you to think that there's no one else out there who's going through what you are
Mm-hmm.
going through. Just in general, because for me, I think what I've realized, especially when it comes to friends, is that the more vulnerable I was, the more people were able to show up for me. I'm the type of person, well, previously, I used to be the type of person where I didn't want to share anything personal unless they did. But like, even in the corporate space, I've realized the more that I've shared, like, the more people have kind of like shown up or met me halfway or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used to like be in my head all the time, that there's no one who's going through exactly what I'm going through, but there definitely is. Um, Even if you're scrolling on TikTok, you'll find a situation that's similar to yours. And the other thing about social media too is that like there's so many different chat groups and interest groups. Like, you can find a friend,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you may have some rejections, you may have some no's, you may have some canceled plans. But honestly, if you can just learn to look at it as one step closer to like your destiny, to like what's meant for you, then, you won't slow down on that path.
Agreed. I think a big takeaway that I would like to mention, and I talk about it in the other episodes, is communication. And to be real honest, I talk about communication, how important that is, and that is something I struggle with myself, that I am trying to grow and evolve in. And when you think about it, when you were younger and with your friends, like you literally did talk about everything. Granted, your life was different and you didn't go through life, but it was easier and more candid. And as we grow, of course, things happen. You don't want to be embarrassed or, always be the Debbie Downer or always have something going on. But if someone is there for you and they are a friend, you should be able to communicate with them. And we need to communicate with them. We need to have that avenue, not only for the sake of our friendship, but the sake of our own health and our own mental health and our own connections and our own healing. So I think that's one of the things I would like everyone to take away from it. And if someone can't show up to you in the capacity in which you need them at the moment, that's okay. And it's great to communicate that to someone and be like, hey, I don't have enough in my cup, as you would say. Pour from an overflowing cup. I don't have enough in my cup right now to show up for you. And I'm really sorry you're going through that right now, but I can't handle it. I don't have the bandwidth. And that's fine. And that's something that we need to accept as well and then move on. And you don't necessarily have to break up with a friend from that either.
Mm.
I know we talk about friend breakups, but you don't have to have all these multitudes of breakups because someone didn't show up for you that one time. Like, it's legit. We're all going to go through something and we can't show up for one another. But there's going to be times where we can. We'll have more joyful moments than we will bad.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, just take that as a takeaway. I think that was something that was talked about in each episode with Marty, Kaylin, and Victoria. Again, excuse my voice, but yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, final thoughts on the friendship series.
Mm-hmm.
I do hope that, like Kim said, you saw yourselves in each of the women and ourselves in the friendship series. It was a little glimpse of what we go through in our friendship series. Again, for me, it was very eye opening to see that we all do go through similar things, regardless of our age group, where we are in life. Um, but yeah, re listen, take things, to heart. Don't take things to heart. Comment, ask the questions. We'll love to hear them. Share anything with us in regards to friends. And yeah, stay tuned for more things to come from us. But that's a wrap up on our friendship series.
Yay. We hope y'all enjoyed it. We know we did. We're really excited to step into this new season of our podcast. So
Yes.
stay tuned for the next season. Make sure you follow us wherever you listen to your podcast. We are on TikTok, we are on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we are here. And on Spotify. But make sure you follow us at the Warm Truth Podcast on IG and all platforms. And then make sure you follow me at Kim Show, KIMSHELLE _. And make sure you follow Mel at Don't Miss
A
a
beat
Beat
underscore
underscore
Y.
Y.
And then also my golf page, A Girl and Her Swing. And yeah, toodles.
Until next time, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.